power. It's not about control. It's about awareness. And in the most intimate moments, awareness becomes everything. So let me be very clear. What happens before penetration isn't foreplay. It's the battlefield. It's where energy shifts, where vulnerability becomes dominance, where anticipation turns into influence. You're not waiting to be touched. You're shaping the entire experience before a single inch is crossed. Because if you want someone to tremble at the moment of entry, you must first own that moment entirely. Body deep, line by line, no fluff. Before the physical begins, everything starts in the mind, your energy, your ability to channel your sensuality without apology, without shame. That moment just before connection is a pause between two worlds. And what you do in that pause matters. Step 1, breathe like you mean it. Not shallow, not erratic, deep, controlled. Let every inhale speak, I am here, fully, completely. Let every exhale whisper, I know what I want, and I'm not afraid of it. Breath isn't just survival, it's your secret language. When you master it, you become unforgettable. Step 2, eye contact with intention. Don't look away, don't flutter, don't rush. Look eyes with the quiet authority of a woman who owns her body, her pleasure, her power. Because the eyes don't ask for permission, they declare presence. Step 3, touch with strategy. This is not about teasing, this is about leading. Touch where you feel power surge through you. Maybe it's the small of your own back, maybe it's the inside of your wrist, maybe it's your lips. But make it slow, make it deliberate. Let your fingertips remind you that you are the center of this storm. Step 4, say one sentence, one truth. It doesn't need to be filthy, it needs to be real. Whisper it with clarity, something like, I'm open, but only to what I desire. Or this is my moment too. Let it be a sentence that affirms your boundaries, your readiness, your fire. Because the moment you speak your truth, you shift from being touched to being felt, and there's a difference. Step 5, stillness. This is your final weapon. Just before everything begins, pause. Be still. Let silence build tension. Let stillness remind the world that you are not there to perform, you're there to experience. In stillness, you heighten every nerve, every beat, every breath. It becomes electric, sacred, unforgettable. Bending, command again, then call to action. So no, this is not about being sexy. It's about being so present in your body, in your moment, in your truth, that trembling becomes the only possible outcome. Own your moment before the moment. Stand at that edge like a goddess, not a guest. And when the world crosses into your domain, let them feel that your body is not a playground. It's a temple, a storm, a decision. Now go. Don't ask to be remembered. Be unshakable, be unforgettable. Trembling isn't the goal. It's the side effect of a woman who knows exactly who she is, right before everything begins. There's a reason breath is the first thing we experience when we're born. It's not just a biological function. It's a message from the body that says, you're alive, feel everything. And in the realm of intimacy, that message becomes power. Most people don't even realize how breath changes the quality of connection, how it dictates whether a moment is forgettable or magnetic. But you do, or at least you're about to. Before lips meet, before hands wander, before skin brushes against skin, there's a pause. That space between action and anticipation is where breath speaks. It's the first and most primal language of seduction, of presence, of authority. And yet, so often, we forget to use it. We rush, we hold our breath, we react instead of command. But when you learn to use your breath like the weapon it is, everything changes. Imagine lying there, anticipation pulsing under your skin, and instead of giving into the urgency, you take a slow, deep inhale, not just for oxygen, but to remind yourself that you're in your body, you're in this moment, and you control what happens next. That breath, drawn from your belly, rising through your chest and slipping out through parted lips. It doesn't just oxygenate your blood, it centers your power. It pulls you back into your sensual self. Your breath is not just something you do, it's something you can play with. It can be sharp and shallow, teasing and frantic, or slow and deep, commanding and grounded. It becomes a rhythm your body dances to. It becomes the metronome of your pleasure. And the more aware you are of it, the more you can manipulate the space around you. You're not just reacting to energy, you're generating it, you're guiding it. The difference between a woman who's in her breath versus a woman who's disconnected from it is night and day. One is being moved, the other is doing the moving. Breath helps you access that control without saying a word. With every inhale, you claim yourself. With every exhale, you invite what you want without ever needing to ask. And that's a different kind of seduction. It's the kind that lingers, the kind that leaves a trace. Picture yourself in a moment of high desire, every nerve alert, every inch of skin charged, and instead of letting the chaos take over, you deepen your breath. You let your chest rise slow and heavy. You let your breath come out in a soft groan or a sharp sigh. You exhale through parted lips, not for effect, but because you're savoring your own fire. That sound, that rhythm, it's not performance. It's real, it's raw, it's unmistakably yours. And what's even more powerful, when breath becomes an anchor in vulnerability, when it steadies you in moments that feel too intense, too fast, too overwhelming. In intimacy, it's not uncommon to get swept up in someone else's pace. But your breath can pull you back. It says, I decide what pace this moves at. I choose when to deepen, when to stop, when to surrender. It's also a source of unmatched eroticism. Want to elevate your presence in a room without even touching anyone? Change your breathing, slow it, control it. Let each breath roll off your lips with intention. You'll notice the energy shift. People start responding not just to your body, but to your presence, because they feel your awareness. They feel that you're deeply connected to yourself, and that kind of presence, it's magnetic. It's haunting. It doesn't need makeup, lace, or permission. It walks in the room and rearranges everything. Think about the last time you felt truly seen in a moment of passion. Was it when you were overthinking, or was it when you surrendered to your body, when you breathed into your pleasure rather than out of habit? That's the difference. Breath brings you home to yourself, especially when everything else feels too loud, too fast, or too outside of you. There's also this breath amplifies sensation. Try it. When you're touched, when you're kissed, when you're explored, breathe into that space. Focus your inhale into where it feels best. Let your exhale follow that pleasure, like smoke following a flame. You'll notice the touch feels deeper, the sensation lingers longer. Your body becomes a field of awareness, not just reaction. You're not waiting to be aroused. You're already inside it, already commanding it. It's not just about moaning or gasping or sighing for effect. This isn't about sounding sexy. It's about being present. Because when you breathe deliberately, you become a mirror. You teach your partner how to slow down, how to connect, how to feel. And when your energy slows the room down, when your breath leads the moment, it creates something unforgettable.
Breath is the ritual that unlocks your sacredness.
It's the tool that pulls you out of your head and into your hunger. When you use it intentionally, deliberately, you don't just experience intimacy, you define it. Eye contact is not just a look, it's a declaration. It is the rawest, most unfiltered form of intimacy that exists without touch, without words, without sound. And in the space where desire simmers just beneath the skin, eye contact becomes a weapon of unmatched erotic power. It tells a story before a single syllable is spoken. It speaks for the body before the body even moves. It's where confidence collides with vulnerability, and that collision creates electricity. When you hold someone's gaze in an intimate moment, you're not just seeing them, you're exposing yourself. And not in the way we typically think. This is a different kind of exposure. This is the stripping away of armor. This is eye-to-eye honesty where masks fall away and something deeper is invited in. But more than anything, it's where control shifts, not in a way that dominates, but in a way that magnetizes. You don't look away. You don't shrink. You don't blink your power down to nothing. You look and you stay. You look and you say everything your mouth doesn't dare speak. Because the eyes carry truth that bodies often forget to whisper. And when you dare to let your gaze linger just a moment longer than is comfortable, you flip a switch inside the other person. Suddenly, you're not just someone they're attracted to. You become unforgettable. Most people have no idea what it's like to be fully seen, to be held in the gaze of someone who's not trying to impress, not seeking approval, not performing, but simply being. That kind of gaze is rare. It cuts through the noise, it commands stillness. And it says, without hesitation, I am not here to be chosen. I am the choice. That's the kind of energy that makes the room stop breathing. You don't need to have the perfect words. You don't need a script. You need only one thing, presence. When your eyes meet theirs, don't look around. Don't let your attention scatter. Stay rooted. Let your gaze be a tether that pulls them deeper into the moment. And while they're trying to figure out what's different about you, they'll feel it. You're not waiting to be desired. You are already fully in your own desire. And that changes everything. The eyes are an invitation, but they're also a boundary. They can say, come closer, or they can say, not yet. They can be the softest whisper or the firmest command. With one look, you can slow down time. You can shift the entire tone of a touch, a kiss, a breath. You can make a moment go from casual to sacred, from playful to primal. That's the power of looking without fear. That's what makes the eyes such a devastatingly beautiful tool in the art of intimacy. When you're in that intimate space, don't just close your eyes and get lost. Open them, let them speak, let them narrate the experience with a quiet intensity. There's nothing more seductive than a woman who keeps her eyes open on her partner, on herself, on the moment. A woman whose gaze doesn't tremble, even when her body does. A woman who says with one look, "This is mine too." The mistake many make is thinking that vulnerability means softness, that intimacy is only about surrender. But the truth is, eye contact in those moments isn't about softness. It's about depth. It's about holding the moment, holding the emotion, holding the space. And when you can hold someone's gaze without shrinking or apologizing or looking away, you communicate something that words never could. You are anchored in yourself. You are not here to disappear into anyone. You're here to be met. You want the moment to feel unforgettable? Don't look down. Look straight into their eyes as if you already know what happens next. As if you've already played this scene in your mind, but now you're finally letting it happen. That anticipation, layered with that presence, it's intoxicating. And it builds tension without needing to undress a thing. It makes the body tremble long before the body is even touched. Eye contacting can also be a mirror. When you look at someone without flinching, without folding, you show them how to meet you. You teach them to be just as present, just as exposed, just as involved. Because intimacy isn't just about physical closeness, it's about shared energy, mirrored confidence. And it begins with the willingness to look, to be looked at, and not to look away. You are allowed to enjoy that gaze. You are allowed to let it travel. You are allowed to watch them, study them, feel them with your eyes. That's not shame, that's sovereignty. It's permission without a single word. And when your gaze says yes before your mouth ever opens, it sets fire to everything around you. That kind of energy doesn't need to scream to be heard. It whispers, and the whole room leans in. This is not about dominance. This is about invitation. This is about the magnetic pull of someone who sees without judgment, who watches without fear, who holds the moment like it's art. And when you do that, when your gaze is intentional, unwavering, unapologetic, you don't just change the moment, you define it. Touch begins with you, not them, not what they want, not what they expect. Real intimacy doesn't start with someone else's hands on your skin. It starts with your own relationship to your body. Before you can invite anyone to explore you, you must first show them that you've already explored yourself, that you've taken time to know your own landscape, that every curve, every inch, every reaction has been studied and honored, not just for pleasure, but for power. When you touch yourself, it's not just an act of physical desire, it's reclamation. It's how you remind your body that it belongs to you, that your skin isn't just something to be looked at, it's something to be felt. Too often, women are conditioned to wait, to be touched, to be chosen. But what if you led the entire rhythm? What if before anything even began, your own hands told the story? Imagine standing in front of a mirror and letting your fingers trace the outline of your collarbone, your neck, the edges of your hips, not because anyone is watching, but because you are present, noticing, savoring, reconnecting. That kind of touch isn't about arousal, it's about remembrance. It's about coming home to your body after the world has tried to pull you out of it all day. Every soft graze, every deliberate stroke is a way of saying, I see you, I feel you, I'm with you. There's a specific energy that flows through someone who touches herself with intention. It's not frantic, it's not performative, it's centered, it's magnetic. When someone sees you move your hands across your own skin like you know exactly what sets you on fire, it changes the way they experience you. You're no longer a passive participant in the moment. You become the blueprint, the tempo, the spark. You don't wait for hands to discover you. You introduce them to the masterpiece. And this isn't just about sexual touch. It's about the way you moisturize after a shower, the way you stretch in the morning, the way your hands rest on your own thighs when you're thinking. All of it is intimacy. All of it builds a bridge between your mind and body. The more frequently and consciously you connect through touch, the more deeply you own every experience that follows. You want to elevate your intimacy. Begin by making your own touch sacred. Treat your body like the temple it is, not because you're trying to appear confident, but because you are confident, because every inch of your skin is familiar terrain, and you move across it with reverence. You are not waiting to be awakened, you are already awake. In a moment of closeness, when things get heavy, when the air thickens with anticipation, your touch becomes communication. It's a language without words. When you slide your hand down the side of your waist, when your fingers linger on your lips, when you press your palm to your own chest, as your breath quickens, it sends a message. It says, this is mine, this is intentional, this is alive. Touch yourself like you're teaching someone else how to do it. Let your hands demonstrate the pace, the pressure, the places. Let your palms say, watch me, learn me, not as a performance, not to please, but to guide, to show what it looks like when a woman claims her own desire, unapologetically. Because that's what turns on the room, not the act, but the authority. Touch can also be grounding. In moments when emotions surge, when pleasure edges into intensity, when your thoughts start spinning, bring your hand to your heart, to your belly, to the center of your chest. Feel your pulse, feel your breath. Remind yourself that you are still here, still in control, that no matter how vulnerable the experience becomes, you are anchored in yourself. Your touch becomes your reminder. In the lead up to physical intimacy, how you touch yourself sets the tone. It establishes whether this will be something passive or something sacred, whether you're giving away your body or sharing it intentionally. When you run your fingers across your lips, down your jaw, across your inner thigh, not to provoke but to feel, you activate your own energy. You light the fire inside you, and when that flame is already burning before anyone else steps into the moment, everything intensifies. There is something dangerously alluring about a woman who knows her body so well that she doesn't hesitate, not in her touch, not in her movement, not in her pleasure. She doesn't fumble, she doesn't rush, she doesn't perform. She moves with certainty because her own hands have already mapped the journey. And when she invites someone into that space, she's not hoping to be satisfied. She's inviting them to join a ritual that has already begun. Every time you touch yourself with love, with intention, with presence, you tell your body that it is worthy, that it is beautiful, that it is powerful. You dissolve shame, you rewire how you experience intimacy, and you stop seeking approval because you've already approved of yourself. You've already said yes. Your hands, your breath, your energy, they all say, I am not waiting to be wanted. I already belong to me. Your voice is not just sound, it's sensation, it's energy, it's vibration that travels beyond the ears and lands in the body. In the world of intimacy, the voice becomes one of the most overlooked yet wildly powerful tools of connection and control. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it, when you say it, and the energy behind it. Words, whispers, moans, silence, they all carry a frequency that shapes the experience. You don't need to be loud to be heard. Sometimes, the softest murmur holds more weight than a scream. A breathy yes, a quiet moan, a sudden gasp. All of these become instructions. They guide, they affirm, they unlock, and they aren't for anyone else. They're for you first. When your voice aligns with your pleasure, with your power, with your truth, it becomes undeniable. It's not about theatrics. It's about truth, because real intimacy doesn't want performance. It craves presence. Every syllable you release, in a moment of passion, becomes a map, a cue, a rhythm. It tells the energy in the room where to go, how to flow. And the most magnetic women, the ones who are remembered long after the sheets have cooled, are the ones who use their voices not to please, but to own. They don't ask for permission to express themselves. They don't shrink into silence. They speak, even if it's a single word, and let it cut through the air like heat. Your voice is also your boundary. It's the space where consent breathes, where needs are articulated, where desires are unapologetically claimed. And that doesn't always require perfect language. It doesn't need to be eloquent. It needs to be authentic. Maybe it's a command. Maybe it's a whisper of slower or more, or even just a drawn-out sigh that says, that right there. Whatever it is, when it comes from a place of self-awareness, it changes everything. Most people underestimate the erotic potential of their voice. They silence themselves because they've been taught that stillness is sexier than sound. But true sensuality doesn't exist in silence. It lives in expression. Your body may move, but your voice leads. It narrates your experience. It reveals your tempo, your reactions, your hunger. And when someone hears the way you breathe, the way you moan, the way you speak your pleasure, they're pulled deeper, not just into the moment, but into you. Try it the next time you're close. Speak into the tension. Don't wait for a perfect phrase. Just let something fall from your lips. A word, a name, a desire, a sound. It doesn't need to make sense. It needs to be felt. That sound becomes an imprint, a memory, something that lingers in the air and stays in the body long after the moment ends. The voice has the power to make any experience unforgettable, not by how loud it is, but by how real it is. And there's another layer. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing. Silence, when intentional, becomes just as commanding as words. A pause, a held breath, a deliberate moment where nothing is spoken, but everything is felt. That silence is not absence, it's presence amplified. It's the stillness between words that creates gravity. That makes the next sound you release feel like thunder. What you say in intimacy doesn't have to be dirty. It has to be honest. There's fire in truth. You can whisper something simple like, I want to feel this, or I love the way this feels. Those statements don't need to be graphic. They need to be grounded. They need to come from a woman who isn't performing, but participating. A woman who's tuned into herself, not just the experience. Your voice also reflects your freedom. When you allow yourself to express sound without shame, you liberate the body, you release tension, you invite flow, you tell your nervous system that it's safe to be seen, to be heard, to be. That's what makes a moment transformative. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. And your voice is one of the clearest signs that you're there, fully, fiercely, beautifully there. There's something undeniably powerful about a woman who whispers a command instead of screams for attention. Something unforgettable about a voice that stays low and steady, even in the wildest moments. That kind of vocal control isn't just sexy, it's sovereign. It's the energy of a woman who doesn't need to raise her volume to raise the temperature. A woman who could say one word and make the whole world stop moving. Even outside the bedroom, your voice carries energy, in the way you talk about your desires, in how you express your needs, in how you carry your yes, your no, your maybe. That vocal energy translates directly into your sexual confidence. It teaches your body to speak up. It reinforces your right to be heard, not just in life, but in love, in lust, in connection. Let your voice rise and fall like breath. Let it crack, tremble, deepen, slow. Let it echo your pleasure. Let it become part of the rhythm. Don't mute it, don't shape it to please. Just let it be, raw, rich, real. Because in the end, the most powerful thing you can ever do in intimacy isn't to be quiet, it's to speak, to moan, to command, to hum, to be heard, without apology. Stillness is where everything intensifies. In the heat of intimacy, when hearts are pounding, breaths are quickening, hands are roaming, and bodies are on fire, choosing to pause is the most unexpected yet deeply powerful act. Because while movement excites, stillness seduces. It invites anticipation, it sharpens awareness, it sends a clear, unwavering message. This moment is mine, and I'm not rushing through it. When you become still in the middle of rising passions, something shifts. You reclaim control, not just of your body, but of the entire atmosphere. The energy changes. It doesn't fade. It concentrates. Your silence becomes louder than sound, and your stillness becomes more commanding than movement. It's the pause that says, wait, feel this, every inch, every second. Most people are terrified of stillness during intimacy. They associate it with awkwardness or uncertainty. But the truth is, stillness, when intentional, is a mark of power. It's not hesitation, it's mastery. It's the ability to be fully present in your body, to resist the urge to perform, to prove, to please. It's the refusal to rush past pleasure or drown in stimulation. Stillness isn't emptiness, it's concentration. It's where all the sensation and desire collects, deepens and simmers beneath the surface, like heat, just before a boil. Imagine lying in the middle of a storm of sensations, your breath ragged, your skin tingling, and instead of reacting, you pause, you stop moving, you keep your body exactly where it is, eyes locked, lips barely apart, and in that stillness, every nerve wakes up, every emotion rises. That one pause becomes unforgettable. It's the kind of pause that builds tension so dense it's impossible to ignore. And that's where you gain complete energetic authority over the moment. Stillness is the art of elongating time. 1 second becomes 10. 10 seconds feel like a lifetime. And when your body is frozen in awareness, when your breath slows but your presence intensifies, you become untouchable in the most seductive way. You're not passive, you're Stillness isn't weakness, it's restraint. It's the kind of control that says, I choose when this moment moves forward. Let your body speak in stillness. Let your eyes hold all the fire your hips want to express. Let your breath carry all the longing your fingers crave to act on. Let the room feel the weight of your pause. It's in that quiet, unwavering stillness that curiosity skyrockets. It's where the mind starts to race, the heart starts to pound, and the air becomes so thick with electricity that one touch would feel like lightning. Stillness is also where you connect with your inner rhythm, because before you move for them, before you react to their touch, you need to ask yourself, what do I want right now? Not what do they want, not what should happen next, but what is my body craving? That question can only be answered in the silence, in the pause, in the stillness where instinct becomes clear and honest. Your stillness also teaches your partner something invaluable: to slow down, to be present, to stop rushing to the climax, and start honoring the buildup. You become a mirror for what true intimacy looks like: deep presence, rich patience, and reverent exploration. Your stillness becomes their permission to feel more, to notice more, to listen deeper. And in doing so, you redefine what intimacy even means. Don't be afraid to freeze your body while keeping your energy alive. Let your fingers hover an inch above your skin. Let your mouth remain parted in anticipation. Let your chest rise and fall in slow, steady rhythm while everything else waits. That moment when everything could happen but hasn't yet is where the magic lives. That's where craving is built. That's where memories are burned into the body. Stillness doesn't require explanation. It doesn't need a signal. When you claim it, the entire experience shifts around you. The person with the loudest energy isn't the one moving the most. It's the one who knows how to hold a moment. And you do that not with speed, not with intensity, but with the still, smoldering strength that comes from not needing to chase anything. There's an undeniable allure in someone who pauses just before a kiss, who keeps eye contact while their body stays still, who lets silence stretch long enough to make every breath feel deliberate, earned, intimate. That's not hesitation. That's impact. That's artistry. That's a woman who's not rushing to be filled, but one who knows the power of being felt. Even your own self-touch can become a ritual of stillness. Glide your hand down your body and just pause. Let it rest. Feel the weight of your palm against your skin. Let your mind catch up to your sensation. That moment of non-action becomes its own experience. It deepens everything. You don't always need movement to seduce. Sometimes it's the pause that makes the next touch feel like an explosion. Stillness becomes even more powerful when paired with breath. Let each inhale expand your presence. Let each exhale hold the space like a promise. The room doesn't get quieter in your stillness. It becomes fuller because your energy is speaking so loudly, your body no longer needs to. That is the true essence of embodied sensuality, the ability to ignite fire without a single movement, the power to captivate through stillness, the knowing that you don't have to do anything to be irresistible. You just have to be fully and unapologetically in your body, in your desire, in your moment. Pleasure without permission is liberation. It is the highest act of sensual rebellion in a world that has taught you to wait, to be chosen, to be pleased only if someone else initiates it. But in truth, your body doesn't need to be unlocked by someone else's desire. It has always belonged to you. The pleasure you seek isn't outside of you. It's been waiting within you, quietly, confidently, for you to claim it without asking.
From the time we are young, we are taught that desire is something that must be earned, something that arrives with approval.
We are taught to gauge our worth by how someone else reacts to our beauty, to our movements, to our energy. But real intimacy begins the moment you stop waiting to be desired and start embodying your own hunger, your own pleasure, your own fire. That's when you shift from participant to creator. That's when you no longer need permission to feel good. You decide it, you create it, you live inside it. This is not about being wild for attention. It's about being unapologetic in your sensual ownership. It's about choosing to experience your body for yourself, not as an object to be looked at or consumed, but as a living, breathing source of electricity. Every inch of your skin is an invitation to you first. Your thighs, your belly, your mouth, your chest, they don't just exist to be desired. They are the very instruments of your pleasure, your power, your presence. And when you stop waiting for someone else to touch you a certain way, or say the right words, or create the perfect atmosphere, when you instead give yourself permission to feel, to explore, to rise, you no longer need external validation. Your body becomes self-sustaining. You moan because it feels good, not because someone's waiting to hear it. You arch your back because it's instinct, not choreography. You move with rhythm because your body is speaking and you are listening. There's something magnetic, almost dangerous about someone who feels pleasure without being coaxed into it. A woman who doesn't hesitate to run her fingers down her body in front of a partner. A woman who doesn't wait to be turned on because she already is. That energy makes the room pulse. That kind of embodiment doesn't ask for permission. It commands attention by simply existing in truth. It's not about being loud or provocative. It's about being fully tuned in to your own frequency. Pleasure becomes a quiet hum under your skin, a slow burn that builds not from what is done to you, but from how deeply you connect to yourself in the moment. The way your breath deepens, the way your lips part without effort, the way your fingertips explore your own skin like it's new every time. That's not performance. That's ownership. That's liberation. Intimacy shifts completely when you enter it already alive, already lit, already knowing that you are not there to be pleased. You are there to share your pleasure. You bring it into the space. You don't wait to be moved. You are the movement. You're not a passive flame waiting for a spark. You are the wildfire that makes the whole room catch heat. And this isn't about being in control in the traditional sense. It's not about dominance. It's about presence. When you're deeply inside your own pleasure, when you are fully aware of every sensation rippling through your body, you become unshakable. You don't flinch. You don't second guess. You know it feels good because you've been paying attention. You know what to ask for because you've given it to yourself. You don't need to prove anything. You're already in the experience. Pleasure without permission also means letting go of shame. It means no longer seeking to earn softness or passion or worship. You don't wait to deserve it. You live like it's already yours. You don't hide behind politeness or wait for the right mood. You make the mood. You are the mood. You allow your body to respond without censoring it. You say yes to what feels good, without pausing to wonder if you look sexy doing it. Because sexy isn't a look, it's a state of being. Let your pleasure be loud in the way your energy expands, even in silence. Let it fill the space between each breath, in the arch of your back, in the press of your hips, in the rhythm of your moans that come not because someone else did something right, but because you are fully in the moment with yourself. Let every ounce of pleasure be a declaration. I belong to me. This body is mine. This experience is mine. There is nothing more captivating than someone who doesn't wait to feel good. Someone who lets go of the performative checklist and instead follows sensation. Someone who chases no one but welcomes everything that aligns with their truth. Someone whose very presence says, I know how to make myself tremble. I'm just letting you watch. That's what makes intimacy magnetic. That's what makes sex unforgettable. When the moment isn't about pleasing or being pleased, but about experiencing. When you don't shrink, when you don't hesitate, when you let the room, the bed, the breathless space between bodies be filled with the sound of your self-claimed pleasure. No guilt, no waiting, no permission, just truth, just fire, just the bold, undeniable act of feeling everything without apology.